The Alhambra is a palace and fortress complex located in Granada. It is one of the most famous monuments of Islamic architecture and one of the best preserved palaces of the historic Islamic world, in addition to containing notable examples of Spanish Renaissance architecture. Alhambra derives from the Arabic, meaning the red one. The reference to the color red in the name is due to the reddish color of its walls, which were constructed of rammed earth. The reddish color comes from the iron oxide in the local clay used for this type of construction. The complex was begun in 1238. Later, Nasrid rulers continuously modified the site. The most significant construction campaigns, which gave the royal palaces much of their defining character, took place in the 14th century. It is now one of Spain's major tourist attractions and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Generalife was a summer palace and country estate of the Nasrid rulers of the Emirate of Granada in Al-Andalus. It is located directly east of and uphill from the Alhambra Palace complex. The Generalife today includes a mix of original Nasrid period elements as well as extensive modern elements, especially in the appearance of the gardens. The walkways are paved in traditional Grenadian style with a mosaic of pebbles. The Generalife Gardens occupy 3 large terraces on the hillside, each measuring about 35 meters wide by 250 meters long. The 2 lower terraces on the southwest side are occupied by market gardens and orchards. Known today as Las Huertas, these gardens have served this purpose since the 14th century. The highest terrace is occupied by the Jardins Nuevos, New Gardens, a series of 20th century gardens that form the main approach to the historic palaces today. The southern part of this garden area was finished in 1951. It includes walls formed by trimmed cypress trees and a large cruciform pool inspired by Islamic Moorish gardens, along with other decorative plants. An open-air theatre was also added here in 1952. The Generalife Palace itself stands on a 4th terrace above and north of the outer gardens. Above the Patio de la Sultana in turn is the celebrated water stairway, or Escalera del Agua, a 4-flight staircase whose balustrades on either side are carved with water channels that run along their top and along the entire length of the staircase. The flights of the stairway are interrupted by small circular terraces or landings, at the middle of which are fountains. At the top of the stairway is a small 19th century pavilion known as the Romantic Pavilion. The palace and the gardens were originally used as a private retreat and summer palace for the Nasrid rulers and their family, away from the official business that took place in the Alhambra. Water was provided to the Generalife by the Acequia Real, which also supplied water to the Alhambra more generally, and still exists in large part today. It draws water from the Darro River at an uphill location in the foothills of the Sierra Nevada, about 6.1 kilometers east of the Alhambra. The water was conveyed by channels which generally ran along the surface, but some parts ran through tunnels cut directly into the bedrock. These channels, in combination with a complex hydraulic system of water tanks and water wheels, supplied and distributed water for the whole gardens. The Alcazaba, a fortress, is one of the oldest part of the Alhambra, as is the case of the Vermilion Towers. The first historical reference to the existence of the Alcazaba dates from the 9th century, and it is believed that it was then built by Sawar ben Hamdoun during the fights between Muslims and Mu'alladins. The current complex was built by Mohammed I, who constructed the ramparts around the previous castle, defenses, and 3 new towers, the Broken Tower, the Keep, and the Watchtower. As a consequence, the Alcazaba became a real fortress, where the king established the royal residence. His son Mohammed II also had his residence in the Alcazaba until the palaces were finished. From then on, the Alcazaba was only used as a fortress for military purposes. Like the Alhambra, the Alcazaba was abandoned and not cared for during a long time, and it was not until the late 19th century and beginning of the 20th century that the restoration, exploration, and plumbing works were started.